Hello children. In the previous lesson you have learned about motion Nana. Now this is your second lesson and in this you are going to learn the laws of motion. Okay? In this lesson you are going to learn about the laws of motion. Laws of motion. What is laws of motion? We observe the changes in motion of many objects around us. We discussed the concept of velocity and acceleration in the chapter motion. That was your previous chapter. Now, philosophers of the ancient world were very much interested in the study of motion. One question was always popping up in their minds was, what is the natural state of an object if it is left to itself? Our common sense tells us that every object, every moving object on the earth, if it is left free for some time, gradually it comes to rest by itself. So we wonder to know that Aristotle, the great philosopher of that time, also concluded that the natural state of an earthly object is to be at rest. He thought that the object at rest requires no explanation, as any moving body shall naturally come to rest. So, from the previous days, Nana, everyone had a question mark in their mind. What is the position of an object, of a moving object on this earth? Any moving object, but naturally it comes to a halt. We know that. If it has to come to rest some time or the other. After 1 hour, half an hour, 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 1 second, 2 seconds, any a time it must come. So Aristotle thought that there is no, we don't need to give any explanation. It is that every earthly object which moves has to come to rest. Now, who is Aristotle? Let us see. Aristotle. Aristotle belonged to the period of 384 BC to 322 BC, Nana. He was a Greek philosopher and he was a student of Plato, and he also taught Alexander the Great. He was a tutor of Alexander the Great. You know the king, na? Alexander the Great? Okay. And he wrote on many subjects. Some of those subjects are physics, metaphysics, poetry, theatre, music, logic, rhetoric, politics, government, ethics, biology, and zoology. And he was very persuasive speech or writing. His writing or speech was very persuasive, means very convincing. He could convince anyone with a specific reasoning. And without any reasoning, he would never put it on the people. So, he was having a very persuasive speech, means convincing speech or writing. But when Aristotle told that any object, any moving object has to come to rest, it was Mr. Galileo, the father of modern science, who has said that there should be some reason to as why it comes to rest. So, the scientific method, the law of nature must be understood by observation and experimentation and analysis. And he wanted to prove that what Mr. Aristotle said is wrong, and he wanted to prove that there is a reason why any subject after emotion is going into rest. So, this was his intention, and for that he has conducted many experiments also, Nana, which we will learn further. But he also developed a telescope far better than the, means he was not the first person to develop telescope, but he has developed a better version of a telescope, and he used his observation of heavenly motions and analysis of earthly motion to question the geocentric model. So this was few things which Galileo wanted to prove to the society. And first, to turn a telescope to the heavens, he was the first person to turn the telescope towards heavens, and he discovered what Jupiter's moons are, sunspots are, lunar craters are, and phases of Venus has separate phases, Nana. So those phases also were first discovered by him. And he was known for his experimenting mindset, means everything he would like to experiment and then find out the reason. And he was not a believer in God. He was not a believer in God, and that is the reason why the church also was against him. The church also was against him. So he always had a great triumph of science over religion. He always had a great triumph of science over religion. Galileo would not have viewed it thus, for his faith in the truth of God's word remained strong. Means he used to believe that, okay, God is there, but for every action that is happening, there is science behind it. So he would always try to prove science, facts of science to the society. And he used to say that I think in the first place that it is very pious to say and prudent to affirm that Holy Bible can never speak untruth whenever its true meaning is understood. Means there priorly what they used to say, Nana, in your what you say history lessons, when you go for geography lessons in your social science, that time the formation of earth, evolution of earth, they used to say that Jerusalem is the top of the earth, and Jesus is the savior, and Jesus is the first place. So above that and below there were only two other continents. Like that, the earth was discovered, or evolution of earth happened. That is what they used to say in the Bible. So what Galileo says is whatever Bible says it should be true, but there is science behind everything. So let us learn anything through science. So Galileo always stated that an object in motion will remain in same motion as long as no external force is applied to it. అంటే ఒక వస్తువు మూవ్ అవుతుంది, దాన్ని ఆపటానికి ఇంకొక వస్తువు అబ్జెక్ట్ చేస్తేనే అది ఆగుతుంది, లేదంటే అలా మూవ్ అవుతూనే ఉంటుంది అన్నది గెలీలియో ఫీలింగ్. సో Galileo came up with two ingenious thoughts through experiments. He did his experiments on inclined planes with smooth surfaces and observed that the smoother the surface, the farther the ball traveled. అంటే ఎంత స్మూత్ గా సర్ఫేస్ ఉంటే అంత దూరంగా బాల్ వెళ్ళిపోతూ ఉంది స్మూత్ గా. ఇట్ కెప్ట్ ఆన్ రోలింగ్ రోలింగ్ రోలింగ్, ఇట్ డింట్ స్టాప్. వెన్ డిడ్ ఇట్ స్టాప్? ఇట్ స్టాప్డ్ ఓన్లీ వెన్ ద బాల్ వాజ్ ఎన్కౌంటర్డ్ బై ఎనదర్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్. అంటే ఏదైనా ఒక చిన్న రాయి కానీ ఏదైనా ఒక చిన్న అడ్డు కానీ తగిలినప్పుడే బాల్ ఆగింది. సో ఇన్ రియల్ వరల్డ్ సచ్ ఎ సర్ఫేస్ ఆఫ్ ఫోర్స్ డస్ నాట్ ఎగ్జిస్ట్. సో దిస్ వాజ్ వాట్ గెలీలియో వాంటెడ్ టు ఆల్వేస్ ప్రూవ్. ఓకే, that any object in motion will remain in same motion as long as no external force is applied on it to stop it. Okay, so the first experiment what he did is he observed that when the ball rolls down a slope it picks up speed due to the force of gravity of the earth. So manam painunchi when we drop the ball nana on an inclined slope, it will keep on going off like this, right? Because of the force of gravity of the earth. Now when the object rolls up in the inclined plane its speed decreases. That I have even told you in the last lesson, right? But when an object is going on a constant horizontal plane it keeps on rolling and it has no reason to speed up or slow down. So it will continue to move with constant velocity. This is what Galileo has observed. So that was his first experiment, Nana. In the second experiment, Galileo came to the conclusion which was contrast to Aristotle's belief that natural state of an object is rest. According to Aristotle, what is it? Any object which is in motion, at the end of the time it must go on to rest at some period of time. But Galileo says that it is wrong. See, in this one, Galileo observed in this figure the marble released from the initial height. But since the slope is in U shape, again due to gravity it is coming back due to force of gravity and then moves up to the slope until it reaches its initial height. అంటే ఇలా పైనుంచి కిందకి ఇలా జారి వెళ్ళేటప్పుడు ఫస్ట్ పైనుంచి ఇది కిందకి పడుతుంది because of the force of gravity and then again it is going up until it reaches its final height. So he observed that the marble released from its initial height rolled down due to force of gravity and then moves up to the slope until it reaches its initial height. అంటే ఏ హైట్ నుంచి అయితే పడిందో ఆ హైట్ కి అది రీచ్ అవుతుంది. సో దట్ ఈస్ హిస్ ఫైనల్ హైట్. సో again he did another experiment, Nana. In this experiment what did he do? In the previous one the slope was like this in U shape, right? Ball was going from here, it was dropping like this and going, okay, and reaching the initial height. Now what did he do? He changed the shape of this slope. He changed the shape of this slope. What he found is the ball is going to the same initial height, but it is traveling a longer distance to go to that height. It is traveling a longer distance to go to that height. Here the distance is shorter because U shape, right? But here since the inclined position angle is being changed, So as to reach that same height, it had to go little farther. But it is reaching the final height only. The initial height, final height are one and the same. So again he changed the angle little more, and again he observed the ball would reach to the final height only, and it will go little more farther. So this was his what you say conclusion that he had found from these results. So, in the first experiment, he has seen in U shape. In the second experiment, he has seen in little angle of incidence has been changed. Now, here, what did he do? He did not bend it like this. He just kept it in a horizontal position, right? He just put it down like this. Okay. And since it has no slope to go up as shown in the figure, obviously it should keep on moving for even longer the level surface at constant velocity. And he concludes that the natural state of moving object, if it is free of external influence, is uniform motion. So ఈ బాల్ ఇప్పుడు ఇలా రోల్ చేసుకుంటూ what happens నాన్న, it keeps on rolling and it will go off because smooth surface, no objection, no slope, nothing. So it keeps on going off straightly because it is free of external influence. There is no influence. Bend unte external influence వచ్చేది, bend లేదు కాబట్టి external influence లేదు. So it keeps on going at a constant velocity, and that is uniform motion. Okay ma? So Galileo proved that because of any object only, the anything which is in moving condition comes to a rest. Okay. And Galileo imagined a world where there is no friction, but this is not possible in reality because friction, which affects the motion of an object, plays a very important role in our lives. We walk because of friction between our legs and the ground, right? So without friction, nothing happens in our life, Nana. So what he felt is, if there was no friction, we would not have been able to stop a fastly moving car. So ఏదైనా ఒక మూవ్ అవుతున్న ఆబ్జెక్ట్, if it is coming to an halt, there is some reason behind it, and that reason is friction. Okay, this is what Galileo wanted to prove. And it is very difficult to perform many physical activities without friction. We cannot perform many physical activities without friction, Nana. Build up upon the ideas primarily developed by Aristotle and Galileo, Sir Isaac Newton proposed his three fundamental laws which explained the connection between force and a change in motion. This one explained the idea between force and change in motion. Okay. What are who is Mr. Newton? Newton's laws of motion. In 1667, he developed three laws of motion that describe movements of objects in terms of forces. These laws of motion still hold true today. Even to this day, we believe that these laws are true. Okay. So, Newton's first law of motion, Nana. Every body continues in its state of rest or uniform in a straight line until and unless it is compelled to change its state by action of net force. Until and unless there is no action of net force, a body, if it is in motion, it will go in that motion. If it is in rest, it will be in that rest only, Nana. Until and unless there is no action of a net force. So here you see, here all the body in these three slides are at rest. Okay, when a force is applied, they fall down in the same direction. See, now the eggs are not falling somewhere else, they are falling exactly in the glass, and that happens because of a force called inertia. That happens because of a force called inertia. We call that force as inertia. Okay, and here you will see this, all the body objects are moving in, they are in motion. Okay, and suddenly when you go in a car or when you go in a bike of your father, Nana, you're sitting back, you're at rest. Okay, suddenly your father gives a break. What happens? You go and fall on him, right? Why do you fall on him? Because of inertia. You fall on him because of inertia. Now let us see what is inertia. Inertia. So what is inertia? Inertia of rest or static inertia. The body at rest always tries to stay at rest at the same time. same state of rest. The body which is at rest always wants to be in the same state of rest, Nana. It does not accept any change in its position until some force acts on it. This property is known as state of inertia. So in this example you can see here there is a tray. On it they have kept few horizontal tubes. In that they have kept the eggs. Okay. Now the external force is being applied on the tray, right? The external force is applied on the tray, and that external force application is making the eggs change their position from top to inside the glasses. But here you will observe that they have changed the position in the same direction. They don't change it in the different direction. So this is called inertia, Nana. Okay. The eggs are following vertically only. They are not following horizontally. But the tray on which the force is being applied falls horizontally. Okay. Now previously you have seen inertia at rest, Nana. Now this is inertia about when of motion or dynamic inertia. That is static inertia or inertia of rest. This is inertia of motion or dynamic inertia. The body which is in motion always tries to move in same direction until some force acting on it. This property is known as inertia of motion. Now here in this car you can see, Nana, the body does not change its state of rest or of uniform motion until the external force compels to it to change that state. ఇక్కడ external force ఏంటమ్మా? ఆ వాల్ ఆ కార్ గుద్దుకున్నప్పుడు ఇతను బయటకు వచ్చి పడుతున్నాడు. ఓకే. సో అప్పటిదాకా తను అదే మోషన్ లో, అదే డైరెక్షన్ లో, అదే స్టేట్ లో మూవ్ అయిపోతూ వెళ్తున్నాడు, ఈవెన్ దో హీఈస్ ఇన్ మోషన్. ఓకే. సో హియర్ యూ కెన్ సీ ద జిరాఫీ. When the external force is being hit, what happens? The giraffe falls forward. So ikkada you have to know one more thing, Nana. If the weight of the object is more, then the inertia is more, and if the weight of the object is less, the inertia is less. Okay. So depends upon the weight of the object. Okay, Nana. So this is inertia of motion or dynamic inertia. Actually, it's not weight of the object, Nana, mass of the object. If the mass of the object is more, then inertia is more. And if the mass of the object is less, inertia is less, Nana. Okay. So this is inertia of motion or dynamic inertia. The body which is in motion always tries to move in same direction until some force acts on it. And this property is known as inertia of motion. Okay. As I told you, inertia and mass have a connection, Nana. Okay. If the mass is more, inertia is more. If mass is less, inertia is less. Inertia is a property of a matter that resists changes in its state of motion or rest. It depends on the mass of an object. Now the car has more inertia than the bicycle because of its mass. Mass ante telusu kadamma meeku. Body yokka containing matter ni manam mass antam. Okay. So here you can see this fellow is thin, so his inertia is more. But elephant is tummy. So its inertia is, sorry, the one who is thin, his inertia is less. And the one who is tummy, his inertia is more. Okay. So mass of an object is considered as a measure of inertia, Nana. Mass of an object is considered as a measure of inertia. We know that SI unit of mass is kg. What is the SI unit of mass, Nana? It is kg. From these above examples, we conclude that some objects have more inertia than the others. And mass is a property of an object that specifies how much inertia that object has. So mass of an object specifies how much inertia the object has. If the object is having more, then the mass is more, the inertia is more. If mass is less, the inertia is less, Nana. Okay. So this was about Newton's first law. Now further you are going to learn about the second law of motion of Newton and third law of motion of Newton in the next video. Okay, Nana. So have a nice day. Stay home, stay safe, listen to your parents and be good children, and finish all your textbook reading compulsory. Okay.